So if you want to know how ruthless and diabolical the progressive left has become, just look at their attacks on people of faith and religious institutions. Mid-Vermont Christian School takes its cues from the Bible, not the Democratic Party, which apparently is a no-no in the socialist land of Bernie, Ben, and Jerry. Last winter, the girls' basketball team was scheduled to play in the championship game against a school that has a 6-foot boy who identifies as a girl. Mid-Vermont took a stand and decided to forfeit the game instead of putting its girls at a physical disadvantage, but also not bowing to the whole transgender ideology. And that's when the trouble started. Almost immediately, the Vermont Principals Association banned Mid-Vermont Christian School from participating in sports or co-ed programs throughout the entire state. So let's bring in basketball coach Chris Goodwin and Ryan Tucker also. He's the senior counsel for Alliance Defending Freedom, which is representing the school in its lawsuit against the state. So Chris, tell me about the decision to not compete against the school with a guy playing as a girl and the death penalty that the state hit your school with.
Sure. I appreciate the fact you said it was a championship game. It was actually the first playoff game of the year. So we had found out midway through the season that there was a male athlete playing on one of the girls' teams in the state. And they weren't on our regular season schedule, but we were seeded against them in our first playoff game. So being a religious school, a Christian school, Christian parents, Christian coaches, Christian families, we decided that we were not going to compromise our religious beliefs and we were not going to play that game. So we graciously forfeited that game, allowed the other team to move on in the tournament. And like you said, shortly after that, the state removed us from all athletic sports participation in the state.
What else did they do? It wasn't just sports, right?
No, it wasn't. Well, no sports at all. So no cross country, no track, no soccer. And they also would not allow other students from other schools participate in any sport that we offered that another public school wouldn't offer. So we have a volleyball program, which a lot of schools in the area do not have. And they were not even allowing public school students play on our volleyball team this year. And along with that, academic competitions as well, math teams, science fairs, things like that. So completely removed.
It's so despicable. So Ryan, what the state of Vermont did to this school, it's egregious. It is obvious. So explain the lawsuit.
Well, first off, Vermont cannot discriminate against a Christian school for simply following its religious beliefs. What the state is trying to do is to purge schools and people from the public square because they don't agree with the government on a controversial issue where they're ignoring basic biology, safety, privacy, the importance of free speech and religious freedom. It's vindictive, it's outrageous, and we filed a federal lawsuit.
So where's the federal lawsuit? And, what do you think your chances are given? I mean, to me, it's clear cut, but Lord knows what kind of judges you might get.
Well, one would think, but we filed our lawsuit in the district court in Vermont. We asked the court to enjoin the state from enforcing its gender identity policies against Mid-Vermont Christian and to let the school back into the sports association. But unfortunately, the district court denied that request. So we are planning to take the matter up with the Court of Appeals here very shortly.
It's crazy. So Chris, what's the reaction been like from parents and alumni of the school? How about the kids who are totally being punished and they're caught in the middle of this, but they're being punished?
Right. Kids obviously disappointed. We had the opportunity to play in the playoffs and there was, a couple teary eyes, but they all understood. The families understood, the administration understood, and I've really gotten nothing but support, even from public school athletic directors, other coaches. I haven't had one person contact me in any way that was not supportive. So the support's been great, but me as a dad, I just can't. As a dad, I'm not going to send my daughter, who's a freshman, out to play against a 6'3" male athlete. That would be irresponsible on my part. So if the state says that our girls need to play against male athletes in order to participate, we're just not going to go along with that. So that's where we stand right now.
No, good for you as a dad and a coach. And Ryan, by the way, if Vermont succeeds, they they can put every type of Christian or religious organization out of business unless they don't practice what they preach. I mean, the ramifications are really serious. It's either you pray to progressivism or pray to your God, but you can't do both. So what happens here?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Mid-Vermont Christian simply believes that boys are boys and girls are girls, and they're punished for that belief. And, Christian schools across the state there, across this nation, obviously believe that as well. And so if this were to take hold, not just in Vermont, but elsewhere, this would have a very negative impact on religious schools and their ability to compete in these state-run associations.
Well, I wish you both a lot of luck in this. We'll watch it, and it's really important for common sense and the rule of law. So Ryan Tucker from Alliance Defending Freedom, you do a great job. And Coach Chris Goodwin, you may not have been in the championship game, but you're our champions, and I think you would have won it all anyway.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.